Well, let me take this down, and I want to welcome you to the show. And as you can see, I already have our guest here, and this is Kyli Santiago. Kyli, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Just great, and I am so glad you're here. And I just want our guests to know that we are going to invite them into our sanctuary, our serene sanctuary, where we're going to be sharing our poetry, sharing our reflections,
Yes.
and really sharing our lives. So I invite you to stay with us. And this is a kind of different show. I usually start with a centering. This time I'm going to start with a full meditation. Invite you to join us with a full meditation. It's only going to take about 2 minutes or so, but we want to kind of prepare you to enter into our sanctuary. So here we go. So as always, it's an invitation. I invite you to lower your gaze or close your eyes and get comfortable either sitting, standing, or even lying down. And we're going to begin by taking just a deep cleansing breath, a really deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And then let your body take over your breathing. And every now and then I'll ask you to take a deep breath. But right now, I just want you to settle into the rhythm of your breath. Just focus on that. And this morning, when I was doing my own meditation, and it might have been because I was doing it later in the morning, the sun just came over. I could feel this warmth. My eyes was closed, but were closed, and I could feel the warmth of the sun just passing by my face. And I thought, yeah, I'm going to start this session today just visualizing the sun. So I'm going to ask you, it may be morning, afternoon, or evening where you are. It may be night, but just visualize that there's this bright, radiant sun, just full of life, hovering peacefully above you. And its gentle rays begin to cascade down, touching the crown of your head with a warm, tingling sensation. And then I like you to take a nice deep breath in and out slowly. And as you breathe, this golden sunlight flows down into your forehead, smoothing out any lines of worry. It glides over your eyelids, bringing a sense of peace and relaxation, easing any strain. And then this beautiful sunlight continues to travel, warming your cheeks and unclenching your jaw. You feel a soft, comforting heat as it moves through your neck, releasing any tightness and allowing your throat to soften. And then take another deep breath here as the sun's energy pours into your shoulders, melting away any burdens and tension. And it flows down your arms, filling them with warmth and light all the way to the tips of your fingers. And then the sunlight now gathers in your chest, right at your heart, filling you with love and warmth, healing anything within that needs attention. And then it spreads, the sunlight spreads into your upper back, easing any knots and stiffness. And then you take a nice deep breath in and out again, and then return to your normal breathing. As the sun's energy moves into your tummy area, igniting your inner fire and revitalizing your energy. And it soothes your lower back, offering support and strength. And then the warmth, that healing light travels further down to your hips, thighs, and knees, comforting and relaxing them. And it feels like a gentle, warm embrace, releasing any stored emotions or tension. And then finally, this sunlight, this warm, rich sunlight, reaches your calves, ankles, and your feet that's grounding you and connecting you deeply to the earth. And then you're going to take a nice deep breath in and out here, having your breathing return to normal. And then you're feeling this healing sunlight circulating within you, leaving no part untouched, filling you with this peace. And as we conclude this meditation practice, I ask you to gently bring your awareness back to our sanctuary by wiggling your fingers gently and wiggling your toes very gently, and then softly rolling your shoulders back, and then rolling them forward. And then as you slowly open your eyes when you're ready, you're going to carry this energy with you throughout the day and right now into this soulful sanctuary being created right here and right now. So if you just joined us, I am Dr. Paulina Van with a special guest, and you'll see how special she is. Kyli Santiago, she's a fellow poet, and you'll get to experience the fact that we recently met each other, but we're so alike in so many ways. Thought, from our heart, our mind, our life experiences. Now, I have to be clear, I'm much older than Kyli, but you will see this intergenerational just connection that is just absolutely beautiful. So, Kyli, I just thank you for being willing to take this journey with me today and be with our viewers. And so, I'd like to begin because they hear me talk all the time, but I'd like you to begin by just sharing anything you'd like the viewers to know about you so that they can really understand how your poetry came about. And but right now, we just want to talk about you, Kyli. And I was on a podcast last week, and the host, she said, okay, so begin with tell me where your people are from. So I'm not going to I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
But just please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Sure. Hi, Paulina. Thank you for having me, by the way. I'm very happy to be here. So I am Kyli Santiago. I am a writer, a poet, spoken word artist, um, entrepreneur, mental and emotional wellness advocate, dedicated to spreading the awareness of the healing power of poetry and expressive writing. Most recently, I independently published my first poetry book in late 2021, and it's called Healing Yesterday's Tears, which actually went on to win 17 international book awards. And my background is in acting. I was a professional actress in Hollywood for about 7.5 years. And my journey with poetry is a journey of healing. I actually silently struggled with depression as a child all the way into my adult years. And it got to the point where depression was just ruling my life. I was just debilitated. I lived in sadness and despair, thoughts of suicide, episodes of self harm. It got pretty bad. So I actually had to stop acting and address my mental health and well being. And this actually put me in a fight for my life for about 5 years straight. And, but I want to rewind just a little bit because during this time, healing myself from depression, and it was a lifelong journey. But around this time, I began my self-development journey. So I began to, power positive thinking, meditation. And in my meditation, I actually experienced a spiritual awakening. And about a year later, I actually began receiving words and poems and songs and So I began writing poetry as a form of healing and therapeutic release in 2004, actually. And I've been writing and receiving and communicating with my higher self ever since.
This is you similarly told my story as well. I mean, it's although depression wasn't the ruling or driving force for me, it was. First of all, I want to thank you. That let me get off of me and onto you, and thank you for sharing your journey, because there's someone, at least one, but I know there are many that are viewing this show that are having the same experience right now,
Yes.
or they've been through it and can relate to what you have said. So I just want to let those of you who have just joined the show know that we are here with Kyli Santiago. This is National Poetry Month, and so I thought, what a better way to begin the month, bringing you into our sanctuary where we will share our soulful poems, and they're really healing. And so Kyli just gave us her journey of how poetry became an awareness and reduced to writing. And I have a similar story, but mine was being a workaholic and um, just tiring myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And I was at a place where I had become my work.
Oh,
And and my brother, my late brother, brought it to my attention. And I started meditating and doing more self care activities. And it was through that meditation that and loving myself more, because I didn't love myself for many reasons, and that goes back to childhood trauma. But I started loving myself, and the words, Kyli, also started coming to my awareness. But it's so interesting. I could be cooking or
exactly.
taking a shower or whatever, and then the words would appear to me. It's as if they were being typed out,
Mm,
and this urge that came, this warmth, started in my chest and then went to my head, and I could not think about anything or process anything until I got the words out and I come
it's
to
very
my
similar.
computer. Yeah,
Very similar.
yes. So we have that similarity. So let's get to our poem. So viewers, we're going to. I said earlier in the show that Kyli and I are so much alike. Well, we have poems that are very similar, that give a similar message. So what we're going to do is Kyli's going to tell us about her poem and read a poem, and then I'm going to read one of my poems that is complimentary, and then we'll just do a little reflection. And we've chosen several. I'm not sure we're going to get through all of them, but let's see how it goes. So Kyli, would you mind beginning with healing? And for those of you who have her book, Kyli, would you let us know what page it's on?
Sure.
Um,
This is actually the first poem in my book. It's called
uh-huh.
Healing, and it's on page 3.
Okay, all right.
So should I say a little something first, or do you want?
Yes, you,
Oh, okay.
you you can either before whatever makes sense, either before the poem or after the poem.
Okay. So this poem here actually is one of this healing actually came to me about a year after I started receiving poetry. And when the poetry started, it was just like the vault that held all my pain, my trauma, my everything, just was unleashed and unlocked, and everything came out. And a lot of times I would receive poems because I was curious. Why am I getting these poems? Or I want to write a poem about this, or you know what I mean? And I literally words would just begin to come to me, whether it be a dream or just I hear them and I just start writing them down. So I was getting so much poetry at the time. I was like, well, I didn't think I was a poet at the time. I was just writing. So I was like, what's going on here? So that's healing. Healing. My soul says it needs to heal. It tells me there are many things deep inside it that it needs to release. I know the feeling. My soul says it needs to heal. It tells me it remembers the hurt and pain and anguish that spills out of it. You ain't never lied. My soul says it needs an outlet. It tells me it wants to speak out against the haunting shadows of darkness that lurk deep in the abyss of my mind, that have no home yet stake claim over it. Damn, that's deep. My soul says it needs an outlet. It tells me I am a poet, that I must write to heal my shattered heart that bleeds in sorrow and still cries yesterday's tears. I think I understand. My soul says it needs healing. It tells me I am a poet, that I must write to heal my hopeful soul that awakens me in desperate hope of a sign. I am listening. My soul says I am a poet. It tells me to write my heart out, write till it's all gone, and I will be healed. And so, I am a poet.
Oh, absolutely. I kind of got lost in your words, and I don't want to say lost in your soul because that doesn't sound right, but just lost in the spirit
Yeah, yeah.
of your words. So thank you so much. So this is my it hurts is my uh, introduction to healing. And it is so interesting because I was at, my research has been supporting women after pregnancy loss and helping them cope after pregnancy loss. And so I was at a small gathering in a private home, and we were doing some policy work, making recommendations to change policy around that. And two young African American women were leading the group, and they began with centering, and then they said, for 3 minutes, write
Hmm.
whatever your heart wants to speak. And so this is what came from my heart, and it's on page 2 and 3 of my book, Regala Healing. It hurts because I buried experiences. It hurts because my emotions came through anyway. It hurts because my parents were culprits. It hurts because I couldn't defend myself. It hurts because the abuse lived in the background, adversely impacting my life. It hurts because I didn't feel lovable. It hurts because feeling unworthy made me accept relationships which were unhealthy. It hurts because I pushed people away who could have been helpful and loving. It hurts because I suffered emotionally most of my life. It hurts because I may have impacted others unknowingly, but now I'm healing the hurts. The hurt is fleeting. The hurt is losing power. Hurt is dead, and I get to live and love.
Whew. Exhale.
And, and so, viewers, this was our beginning. That in order to heal whatever it is, it's important that you acknowledge it and you recognize it and
Yes.
own it, right?
Yes.
And in my case, I hid my childhood traumas for decades,
Mm.
and it was through this, and I didn't know my heart was going to speak this.
Mm.
So now we get to go on to the healing
Right.
poems, right? And so, will you read your Choose Love?
Sure. So choose love is This is actually one of the first, not the actual first, but this is one of the very first poems that actually came to me in 2004. And I was battling, my depression and, moving forward and dealing with the soul. And I was asking, I'm trying to heal. Like, I'm dealing with all these symptoms. I'm trying to heal. Help me out here. And this is what came through. Choose love. If fear has no father, then why does it challenge me so? It challenges me to grow, to keep moving forward with unshakable faith. In my response to fear, I cannot run. I will not hide, though I choose to stand still for now. I must have compassion for myself as I face the growing pains that are escaped by no being who consciously chooses to live. As I look upon life with more awareness, I find comfort in the process, knowing creation is not instant, but gradual. I must keep myself aware within the illusion of life. Though my emotions may cause me to slip momentarily, I know the truth that life is only what I make it, and by standing still and not choosing, I still have made a choice. So at this moment, I consciously choose love.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I want to ask you, my complimentary poem is about self-love.
Mm,
And it it came about at a time when I really immersed myself for 30 days. Well, no, it was really 29 days because it was a leap year.
okay.
And I, every day, I meditated for 20 minutes. I, let's see, what else did I do? I can't remember, but meditation was kind of the center pin
Hmm.
of what I did every day. And then once a week, one of my big things is having a massage. So once a week
Mm,
for these 4 weeks, I had a massage. And at the end of that, this is what came to me. And mine is titled Self Love. And it's on page 60 and 61 of the book, Magala Healing. Self love is paying attention. Self love is without hesitation. Self love is clarity of mind. Self love is hard to find. Self love is filled with passion. Self love is unending compassion. Self love is a positive inner voice. Self love is a necessary choice. Self love is an act of kindness. Self love is not mindless. Self love is without a judge. Self love is a gentle nudge. Self love is restful sleep. Self love is what I keep. And so, Kylie, as we think about, you talked about you found love as a part of healing. So I talked about self love. What love or what form did your love take?
my form of love took, I think, what you were speaking of, acknowledgement, but the pain kind of followed me around childhood trauma.
Mhm,
I truly think that it was just acknowledging that my experiences were real
mhm,
and doing something about it, really taking charge into control of my well-being and saying, you know what, I'm not going to allow people to hurt me anymore. I'm not going to give them permission to do that. I'm going to set boundaries. And if some people need to go, they need to go. And just keep moving forward. Love
mhm,
for me, self-love for me, and love for me is continually moving forward, because moving forward, I believe, is the key to finding true happiness,
mhm,
discovering your purpose in life, and being your true authentic self. And I'm doing that. I'm on my journey. It's a continual journey, but that's what love is to me. It's
mhm,
continually moving forward and not letting anybody, not giving people the permission to do things that aren't right to you, you know?
Yeah, there's an adage that people treat you the way you allow them to treat you, or
Mhm.
they can only treat you the way you allow them to treat you. So that's really so. We're both talking about healing and self-love being a really central part of that, and
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
being compassionate with ourselves, treating ourselves like our best friend. Yeah. So let's go into Never Felt So Free. I love that one. Well, I love all your poetry, but that one
Okay.
I love.
This
Mhm.
one is actually really interesting. Speaking of what I was just speaking about, moving forward, this one here, Never Felt So Free, is about releasing toxic relationships. And I think that actually says enough. I'll
Yeah.
read it. Never felt so free. I never felt so free before. I never felt so loved. Never felt so me before. I was so messed up. Until I severed the chains and ended the pain you brought to my life. The moment I set myself free from you, something miraculous happened. I opened the pathway to my future and discovered my reason for being. When I woke up this morning, all the fear I've ever known was gone. I was more relaxed than I've ever been. I was light and unburdened. I had more clarity. I felt stronger, more powerful, and closer to becoming the woman I see myself to be in my visions than I've ever been in my life. I've never felt so free.
Oh, how the young people do it. Oh my. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
it's it's giving ourselves permission to be who we were created to be and use our free choice. And um, okay, so my complimentary one to this is My New Life, and it's on page 37 in my book. And this came about, it's interesting. Um, my husband and I, after dinner, were talking about matchmaking one of our friends, and we didn't come up with someone we thought would be good enough for her. I mean, we're really, anyway, we love her so much. So, anyway, so then we started reflecting on our lives. So, we had recently remarried. He had been married for 50 years, and she died of lung cancer. And then we just started talking about the decisions that we have made that created just a new life for us as a couple, but also decisions that created a new life for us as individuals. So this poem is titled My New Life, and it's on page 37 of my book, Begala Healing, and it goes, My new life is quite amazing. My new life was a result of no more grazing. My new life makes each day exhilarating. My new life creates more celebrating. My new life is regal and blessed. My new life gives me some rest. My new life is something to see. My new life is what God made me to
Mm.
be. And so we both have it takes courage to create a new life, right?
It takes
And
a lot of courage.
a lot of courage. And you have to put yourself first, which is not selfish. It's just if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to have nurturing, positive relationships? It starts with self. So we celebrated our new life.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last one that we're going to read, I think, is really so special for both of us, and that's family.
Mm.
It's all about family. And no, we don't get to choose our family, right?
No.
And no one has a perfect family, but we still love them. And I believe that's the message that comes through on our poems. So, would you please read Sisters and Brothers?
Sure.
Mhm.
Sisters and brothers. Excuse me. To all my sisters and brothers, those I haven't spoken to, seen in a minute, or never got a chance to know, I want you to know I love you all. Whether I know you or not, I'm connected to you. Whether I've seen you or not, I'm a reflection of you. It's our Father's blood that runs through our veins. It's our family's love that makes us the same. Looking back, there were no favorites, only the experience of growing up hard when your daddy's a pimp. So, if your mother was a dope fiend, a drama queen, or had you at a teen, just ask yourself, what does this combination bring? The answer is, we've all had it hard. We've all had it tough. We was all fiending for our father's love and craved to feel balance in our mother's touch. But now we're grown up and it's up to us to let go of the past and hold now in our grasp. Let go of the hardship. Let go of the pain and resentment. Let go of all of it. It's not helping you none, only keeping you from those with whom you share this special bond. Your father's blood runs through their veins. Your family's love makes you the same. So for those of you who I haven't seen in a minute, I'm still a reflection of you. And for those of you who I still don't know yet, I've always been connected to you. Thank you.
Wow. There's a lot to unwrap
Oh, yeah.
with that. Is there any other insight or reflection you want to say about that poem before I read mine?
This poem actually was an offering of healing, an offering of coming together with an intention of love. And it's actually to my father's children. My father has quite a bit of children. I am the oldest of 13 children. So that's what this poem was an offering of. And it's a special poem. And a lot of, it goes off really well. People enjoy the poem and it's special to my heart.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thank you, Kylie. And the last poem that we're going to read today in our sanctuary, mine is about my brother, my late brother, Michael. This is my younger brother. And this poem came to me on the 1 year anniversary of his death. And the year before, my brother and I are very, very close. And yeah. And the year before, I started getting calls that, people couldn't reach him because he's very social and kept the family together. And so my husband and I went to his apartment to see, what was happening. And there was police tape across the door. And so, I thought, okay, my brother's in the life. And so, maybe something went down in there, but, he's all right. He's just not there. He's all right. And then a neighbor came and told me that he had passed away in the apartment. They had found him in the apartment, passed away 2 days before. So anyway, on the anniversary of his passing, this came to me, and I really felt like it was him speaking to me. So it's on page 100, and it's entitled Michael. My brother left a year ago. My brother didn't know he would go. My brother was so wise. My brother didn't despise. My brother had strength like a bull, My brother could be a handful. My brother sought love from interesting people. My brother had a heart as big as a steeple. My brother loved me unconditionally. My brother taught me to forgive seamlessly. My brother had less than a high school education. My brother could keep up with any conversation. My brother cooked unforgettable fried chicken. My brother and his jokes had you laughing and kicking. My brother was comfortable in his hood. My brother wouldn't leave his neighborhood. My brother kept the family connected. My brother wanted me protected. My brother, I know you are in heaven. My brother, I still think about you 24/7. So, Kylie, what I see in terms of our family, we we miss we I think something similar is we miss connections, whether they're living or they have passed away, because as your poem says, we're connected by blood, the blood that runs through us. And um, I just this has been such a special time, Kylie. And
Yes.
is there, are there any words that you'd like to leave with our viewers today?
Um, I I think that I would just like to say that anyone who is suffering from any type of malady, emotionally, just try writing, try picking up a pen, acknowledge what the pain is, confront that pain. But then within that writing, do yourself a favor and reframe it. How are you stronger because of that pain? How are you going to overcome that pain? So that reframing is very, very important. And then speak it to yourself, recite it. I did that a lot in my healing. I spoke my own poetry to myself over and over again. I sang my own songs to myself over and over and over again, with that whole process of the acknowledgement, the confrontation, and reframing it. And it was very powerful. It helped me. I mean, I healed from depression. I'm still subject to emotions like we all are, but the depression where I was debilitated, where it almost made me take my life, hurt myself, it's gone, and acknowledge the relationships that you have. Make sure they all make you feel good about yourself.
Mhm. Mhm. Kylie, thank you so much for sharing a,
Thank
a
you.
bit of your life, which is just absolutely um, just filling. I know my heart is filled. And thank you for being a beacon of light, and life
Thank you.
as we go through these challenges every day. But there's a way out, right? And there's a healthy way out, and it's writing. And I just want to remind viewers that poetry doesn't have to heal.
Right.
As a matter of fact, you might not even want to put a label on it. Just put it's reflective writing. It's your heart writing.
Right.
It's just your inner self. Someone told me it's like my inner self started coming out and speaking the words that I needed, and now the world is using. And so, Kylie, I know this won't be our last conversation. We're going to have more. We're going to create more of these sanctuaries, and we're going to make sure after the show to drop into the chat
Okay.
how folks can get access to your work and contact you for more of just your healing resources. And I want to thank you. We met in an open mic, a virtual open mic,
Yes.
and I had not been to one before.
Neither
And
had I.
yeah, so it
It
was
was at
an
first.
open mic about poetry, and so we are just connected for life. before we started the show, we started talking about all the ways we were connected, and you just saw her cat. Well, we have both of us have cats, and there's just so much in life. But Kylie, thank you, and
Paulina.
um, just blessings to you today and always, and continue sharing the gifts that you've been given with the world.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. Okay, so I'm okay. You guys know that I'm producing, directing, and doing all these things. So I'm going to send Kylie backstage. And I just want to thank you for joining us today. And I hope that there's something that we said has warmed your heart or given you some insight about how to heal or just enrich your life and make it even better. If your life is already rich, maybe you heard something that'll make it um, even better. Please join me here every first and third Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And until I see you again, I wish you love and light today and always. Thank you. I'm going to just show you some